Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están todos? Buenos días. Pues como verán, ahora es el segundo día del webinar de Albert Mizrahi. Hola, Albert, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, mi querida Pati, buenos días.
¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo te
Te
fue ayer?
extrañamos en México. Bien, muy bien, como siempre.
Muy bien.
Eh, mucha
Ya,
gente bonita.
claro, claro.
Te
Todo el mundo
extrañamos en
está
México.
listo para aprender y ver qué hay de nuevo, ¿no? ¿Qué novedades tenemos ahora que estamos regresando?
Sí, fíjate que se me hace una plática muy interesante y gracias por conseguirnos a Richard Green, ahorita lo vas a presentar,
Claro.
pero creo que la gente va a estar muy contenta con lo que les tenemos. Ya veo aquí a toda la gente conectada. No es nuestra plataforma común que utilizamos, pero está bastante bien. La amable gente de CEDIA nos ayudó a organizar esto. Y ahorita les van a explicar a la gente que quiere escuchar la plática en español cómo accesar el audio en español, porque hay una traducción simultánea para que puedan hacerlo. ¿Cómo
Claro.
estás, Pati? ¿Cómo te
Muy bien.
trata California?
No, está un poco nublado ahora, aunque no lo creas, pero todo muy bien. Pero exactamente como dice Albert, esto es increíble. Mariel, hola Mariel, que es nuestra traductora del día de hoy. Si ustedes ven en su pantalla, en el lado derecho, al final hay un mundito. En ese mundito lo aprietan y entonces ahí dice español, inglés. Yo voy a hacer toda la presentación en español. Richard Green va a hacer su presentación en inglés. Y cuando tengamos la mesa redonda, la mesa redonda va a ser en inglés también. Entonces, ustedes van a tener que poner en el mundito y nada más poner en español y van a escuchar exactamente al mismo tiempo. ¿Ok? Entonces, bueno, pues, Albert, nos vemos al ratito. Voy a
Me estás
hablar
corriendo?
unos minutos nada más de CEDIA, qué oportunidades tenemos.
¿Me estás
Y,
corriendo?
y al siguiente momento vamos a hablar
Bien.
voy a presentar a Richard Green y después de Richard Green la mesa redonda. ¿Ok?
Ok, entonces Patti me está corriendo de mi propio seminario, me voy a ir. Voy a regresar en 10 minutos. Ahorita Patti va a tratar de venderles cosas. Por favor, cómprenle, si no, luego ya no nos va a acompañar aquí en los seminarios. Pero estoy aquí platicando con ustedes en el chat, porque seguramente Patti me va a quitar la voz, me va a mutar. Entonces me voy, pero me quedo. Gracias, Patti.
Ok, de nada. Ok, bueno, pues empezamos. Entonces vamos a empezar como les contaba, la siguiente persona va a ser Richard Green y después vamos a terminar con la mesa redonda. Entonces, empezamos. Bueno, pues primero les quiero contar. Como todos ustedes saben, algunos son miembros de CEDIA, otros no, pero CEDIA es una gran empresa, es una asociación global, es una empresa que es de diseño, de fabricación y tecnología en el hogar residencial, proporcionando un apoyo profesional a sus miembros dentro de la educación, certificación y presencial dentro de esta comunidad. ¿Qué es lo que hacemos? Bueno, lo que hacemos, tratarlo de explicar en unas pocas palabras es un poco difícil, pero es avanzar en la industria a través de la educación, certificación y las mejores pláticas. Elevamos el perfil del canal de CEDIA cuando estamos con los profesionistas, tanto de diseño, de construcción, ya que todos trabajamos juntos. CEDIA tiene una sección de Academy. En esta sección tenemos más de 100 cursos. Los pueden tomar en línea, tenemos cursos en español, tenemos muchas pláticas muy interesantes para todos los niveles dentro de su empresa. Y pueden entrar a cediaacademy.net. Tenemos entrenamientos especiales de CEDIA, tanto como para certificación, como para administración, como para diferentes niveles de project managers, que especialmente ahorita tenemos nuevas secciones para project managers. Acabamos de poner 3 cursos increíbles. Certificación de CEDIA. Yo sé que algunos de ustedes han tomado la certificación anteriormente y esta vez, en este tiempo que todos estamos trabajando en casa, lo hemos hecho en 4 sesiones porque es un poco difícil estar en una sesión por 4 horas. Entonces, las personas que estén interesadas en tomar esta certificación, solo me tienen que poner un email a pmanning@cedia.org porque tenemos grupos especiales que los estamos poniendo en las 4 horas, digamos, en un mes. O sea, con que tomen una sola hora al mes, en 4 semanas pueden prepararse estudiando el libro y certificarse. Tenemos certificaciones para técnico de cableado, técnico certificado, diseñador certificado y especialista en network, especialmente ustedes, que ya sé que la mayoría de ustedes son certificados de Control4. Esta certificación sería increíble y pueden ver todo en CEDIA.net certificación. De CEDIA Designer. Pueden hacer sus presentaciones con los mejores equipos conocidos mundialmente. 3D, que son de diseño. Pueden hacer un media room increíble. Pueden tener una presentación de 30 a 60 páginas. Esta sección de CEDIA Designer la pueden ver en cedia.net TCD. El CEDIA Designer, el primer nivel, como miembros de CEDIA, lo tienen gratuitamente. Ahora, hay otra sección que es gratuita para los miembros de CEDIA. Esta sección se llama White Papers. En esta sección pueden ver información de la industria que no la pueden encontrar en otras partes. Esta información la pueden compartir con su equipo, pueden estar al día de su presentación. Este white paper, que es Y56, lo tenemos en español. Si no son miembros, cuesta $99. Pero en esta ocasión, por haber estado en el seminario y en el evento de Albert, se los vamos a regalar a todos los asistentes. Lo único que vamos a necesitar es que me escriban un email y otra vez, pmanning@cedia.org. Con este email yo les voy a mandar este documento. Este documento es el último estándar de redes inalámbricas y trae consigo mucho más que una nueva convención de nombres. Es 13 páginas. Entonces, agradecería su email y yo con gusto se lo mando. CEDIA Awards. CEDIA Awards es un área que tenemos que celebramos cada año, que reconoce a la industria. Pueden poner, hay diferentes áreas, hay diferentes niveles. Es una ceremonia muy importante que pondría a su empresa en el siguiente nivel. La celebramos en un mes más, entonces esperamos que nos vean. Pueden ver todos los eventos en cedia.net Awards. Y les enviaré una invitación para que la vean. En el momento tuvimos 7 empresas latinas que entraron, entonces hay que ver quiénes son los ganadores. Pero lo digo para que en un futuro estén al día. CEDIA Outreach Instructor. Esta sección es una certificación que está autorizada para entrenar y diseñar dentro de la industria. Cualquiera de ustedes pueden tomar esta sección. La vamos a promover en español al final del año. Yo les enviaré para ver quiénes están interesados en atender. Las personas que lleguen a tomar esta certificación, esta preparación, es para que la hagan presentando a los arquitectos, a los diseñadores. Esta es una sección muy importante que cualquiera de ustedes en su empresa se beneficiaría. Siendo miembro de CEDIA hay diferentes niveles. Hay un nivel que es de CEDIA Advanced Member, otro CEDIA Member of Excellence. Y estando su empresa en cualquiera de estos 2 niveles, cuando las personas, otras empresas los buscan, tienen fácil acceso y pueden ver todos los niveles que ustedes han tenido, pueden ver sus datos, pueden ver su bio, a qué persona pueden contactar, qué trabajos han hecho. O sea que esto es uno de los mejores lugares para poner a su empresa. Como les comentaba anteriormente, en esta ocasión tenemos por un tiempo limitado la membresía individual de $99. Entonces, esta es una buena oportunidad para que ustedes se hagan miembros, especialmente ahora que vamos a tener nuestro evento en Expo en septiembre, que espero que nos veamos todos en Indianápolis. Esta es muy buena oportunidad para que conozcan los beneficios de CEDIA y los vean. Ahora que todos el mundo estamos trabajando de casa, esta es muy buena oportunidad. También tenemos la membresía para empresas, que es de $500. En esta ocasión vamos a regalar el libro a las primeras empresas que se hagan miembros de CEDIA. Gracias. Tenemos un centro de negocios. En este centro de negocios hay diferentes áreas en las cuales ustedes pueden, si ustedes están buscando trabajo o si ustedes quieren ver, quieren presentar, quieren ver qué otras personas están buscando, qué empresas, tenemos una sección donde pueden poner si alguno de ustedes busca trabajo o qué empresas están buscando y es gratuito para los miembros. Tech Summits. Tech Summits, yo sé que muchos de ustedes han atendido. Nuestro próximo será en Monterrey, Nuevo León, a final del año. Les enviaré los datos para que espero que nos acompañen. En los Tech Summits, lo más importante es ver de uno en uno a los fabricantes, ver el producto y, por supuesto, tener un network entre todas las empresas que son miembros de CEDIA. Y como ustedes aquí lo verán, algunos de ustedes están en estas fotos en eventos pasados. Una de las cosas que es CEDIA es una familia, CEDIA es un lugar para estudiar y para aprender. Y como ven, muchos de ustedes han obtenido su certificación, otros han obtenido su libro, pero este es un lugar para estar juntos, así como en esta semana que vamos a estar por 5 días atendiendo el evento de Albert. Nuestro siguiente evento es la CEDIA Expo, que será en septiembre 1 al 3, va a ser en Indianápolis. Y como saben, tenemos exhibiciones, tenemos el keynote speaker, tenemos más de 100 clases, tenemos 20 clases en español, que las vamos a hacer también por internet, o sea que van a poder ver diferentes niveles de clases que las van a poder tomar. Entonces, vamos a tener una junta de Latinoamérica que va a ser el jueves 2 de septiembre a las 10 de la mañana. Lo único que tienen que hacer es enviarme un email para apartar su lugar. Entonces, espero que nos veamos en Indianápolis. Es septiembre 1-3. Ahora, si alguno de ustedes necesita alguna carta para la visa, con mucho gusto, CEDIA, podemos proporcionar esa carta para la visa en inglés y en español. Solo escríbanme y yo les daré los datos. Entonces, estamos en contacto y no se les olvide, necesito su email para que yo les envíe su white paper con valor de $99. Y esta foto simplemente es como para que showcase your business. Quiere decir, todos tenemos que hablar de nuestro negocio, preséntense, tienen muchas oportunidades y más ahora que nunca, especialmente en el área residencial, ya que todos hacemos nuestra residencia como estar en casa. Entonces, show your business, que tengan un fantástico día y nos vemos pronto. Bueno, pues ahora vamos a presentar a nuestro keynote speaker. Yo sé que algunos de ustedes han tenido la oportunidad de conocer a Richard Green anteriormente. Él ha estado conmigo en diferentes eventos de CEDIA. Richard Green vive en Palo Alto. Él les va a decir cuáles han sido de sus clientes. Es una persona muy conocida internacionalmente, viaja por todo el mundo y ha participado con CEDIA por muchos años. Okay, Richard, adelante.
Okay, here I am. Buenos dias. Thank you, Patty.
Okay.
Thank you, Albert. Thank you, Control4, and thank you, CEDIA. So happy to be with you. I can see that there are a lot of my Mexican friends on the attendee list. Thank you for coming. And I am now going to take you through a whirlwind tour of technology. Okay, here we go. If you do have questions about for any topic, please use the Q&A or the chat, and Patty will be watching for them, and then we can answer those questions after the presentation. So what is happening in technology? Technology moves very, very quickly. It's accelerating, and it's accelerating at a pace that most of us are not used to. We've had a little bit of a slowdown because of COVID and the impact on the chip shortage and the shipping delays. That will pass, and we're going to go back up to speed and then start accelerating again. And what we're going to have is a different kind of a world. 10 years from now, it will be quite different. Ray Kurzweil, one of the great futurists, says that by the end of this decade, so by the year 2030, computers will disappear from sight. We just won't be using them like we do right now. They'll be embedded into everyday life with displays built into our eyewear, electronics woven into our clothing, providing immersive, virtual, and augmented reality. So the key concept here is technology hardware will disappear, and we'll simply live in this mixed digital and analog real world. We're going to be moving from a focus on appliances and personal devices, mobile devices, computing, and communications into an immersive world where displays are everywhere, displays are in our eyeballs, and we'll have artificial intelligence imbued robots and robotic cars and even flying cars. So what I want to do right now is I want to start with an infrastructure technology, just to give you a taste of what's coming in data. So we're all very familiar with 5G. 5G is being deployed throughout the world. Your market may or may not have it yet, but there's already 6G in development. And 6G is an enabling infrastructure technology that, as we say here, enabling a hyper-connected experience. If you're interested in 6G technology, there is a paper available from Samsung Research, called 6G, the next hyper-connected experience for all. I highly recommend you Google this paper, download it, and read it. It's very thorough, it's very technical, and it'll give you a very clear insight into how some of the technologies that I'm about to talk about here today can actually happen. Now, here's a technical chart that shows the capability of 5G data and then what 6G can do beyond that. And look at the parameters, the data rates, the energy efficiency, the latency, peak data rates. It's astonishing what can happen here. This chart shows the evolution of data, cellular data from 3G, 4G, 5G into 6G. And look at these statistics, 1 terabit per second download, peak download speed, microsecond latency, which means we'll be able to use 6G technology for real-time augmented reality with virtually no latency in the digital layer. And what does this enable? It enables holographic imaging, like real holograms, flying cars, the Internet of everything. Everything will be connected, including our bodies and our brains. And I'm going to show you how that works in just a couple of minutes. This is a slide that I got from Charlie Kindle, who is, he was with Amazon, he invented Alexa, and now he's with Control4 and Snap AV. And he envisions what he calls the level 5, the highest level of the connected home. So a Control4 connected home will be ambient and invisible. Those are key ideas. So the hardware recedes into the background, and we have ambient connectivity, ambient experiences, ambient audio video. The home ends up understanding your intent because it also has artificial intelligence throughout all the devices in the home. I think the key concept here is we can just live our lives in a beautiful home without having to focus attention on the hardware or focus attention on the technology. Things just happen quietly in the background. And a key ingredient to that, making that possible, is AI, artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence is, it's everywhere right now. It's in our phones, it's in our toasters, it's in our washing machines, it's in our robots. It's overpromised. Not everything is intelligent, but we're getting to a point where it becomes pervasive. It's built into our thermostats. The way artificial intelligence works right now is it's big data, machine learning, massive data sets, pattern recognition, designed to amplify your desire to buy things. It's amplifying the consumer economy. Not that that's bad, but there is a privacy concern because of the data that's being gathered about us. And that's really the prime driver behind artificial intelligence right now. I'd like to share with you a project that I'm doing here in the San Francisco Bay Area. This is for a client who is an artificial intelligence researcher. And he's building the home of his dreams, and I'm helping him automate it. What's interesting about this ultra-modern home is that it will have another family member, and that other family member will have a name. The name is Morpheus, and it is an artificial intelligence. Morpheus will be watching the movements of the family, the kids, the mom and the dad. Morpheus will then learn their behavior patterns, and Morpheus will become an artist. So Morpheus will be creating art that will be visible on all of the TV displays around the house. Morpheus will be composing music to play through the speakers, depending on the mood of the family. There's a dance club, private dance club in the basement. So when they feel like dancing, Morpheus will kick out some dance music. Morpheus will also be inside a robot, a robotic dog whose name is Abigail. And it will be similar to the Boston Dynamics robotic dog you see in the bottom right-hand corner. Abigail will be running around the house just like a normal dog. Abigail will have a remote-controlled doggy door, so she can get out and go get the mail and bring the mail back and come in through the doggy door, and the doggy door closes with an RFID identification tag. So I just wanted to share this with you. It's a fun project, and I think it's an indication of where the home of the future will go. We have to look at artificial intelligence eventually as another member of the family. Tremendous opportunities here for CEDIA members to start getting into robotics and automation at a level beyond what we usually do. And now let's talk about audio video. So the big change in audio video over the next few years, it's already happening as you know, is immersion. The big word here is immersive. Audio video becomes immersive, and it goes beyond the flat screen and the surround sound speakers. But it starts with what we're familiar with. So in a home theater, we now have the immersive audio, which is the height channel, And I'm sitting on a committee with some amazing people with CEDIA on a recommended practice. It's called RP22, recommended practice number 22. We're very far along. We're about 2 years into the standard, but we're writing a global standard on the best practices in room design, loudspeaker choice, loudspeaker positioning, all of the elements of an ultimate immersive audio space will be in this paper. So watch for it coming out later this year. We'll be speaking about it in great detail at Expo in Indianapolis. Part of immersion is audio, part of it is video. We want bigger and bigger video. So we're seeing micro LED tiled displays that can be expanded to great sizes. They're modular, so you can just start adding cabinets and start to fill the walls with video. What excites me about this is we can now have immersive video throughout the room. Doesn't have to be a flat screen at the front of the wall. It could be the right side, the left side, the ceiling, the floor. The whole room can be video. When you do that, how do you get sound into the room if it's all flat panel displays? Well, there are companies that are making specialized speakers that address this issue, in some cases with reflected sound. JBL is doing it. They already have products for large movie theaters. Meyer Sound is doing it with their Ultra reference, and you can see that the speakers are reflecting sound off the front micro LED display. So we're getting some answers to how to handle these large displays. This type of sound will be addressed in the next version of RP22, by the way. This is so cutting edge that we're not going to put it in the first edition. Now, when these micro LED tiled TV walls become three-dimensional or holographic, things get really interesting. So we're looking at light field displays, and a light field display is literally a hologram. It's a display that can project three-dimensional images out in front of itself or behind itself. So it's as if you can reach out and touch the objects that are being projected. What you see in these images in the upper left and the bottom right are not so far out. We're going to see this beginning in schools and shopping malls. It'll be a very big attention getter, but eventually these light fields will work their way into homes. So there is a company here in the Bay Area called Light Field Labs that is making working prototypes right now of these holographic displays. They are modular, so you can assemble them into larger and larger panels, and eventually an entire wall can be a holographic display. This is not weird science fiction. This is real. It's working in the lab right now. We're going to have so much fun with display technology over the next 10 years. So brace yourselves for that. Here's an example of what it can look like at a workstation where a prototype, or let's say for us, an equipment rack would look like it's hovering over the table, and you can grab it and rotate it and look into it and separate the parts, which is going to be a lot of fun. This is an image of what's happening in the museum space right now. We have the immersive Van Gogh exhibit at the De Young Art Museum in San Francisco happening right now. And what you're seeing here is all the surfaces of this room are painted with video. And I don't know if you can make out above, but that ceiling is full of speakers. So this is a walk-through environment with immersive video and immersive sound. This is the future of home theater. It will be an immersive walkabout type experience. Lots of projectors here, which would make some of our CEDIA integrators happy. Now let's talk about virtual reality, VR. There are lots of different realities here I'm going to talk about. Virtual reality is when you put a headset on your face and it completely blocks out real reality. And I want to tell you that Facebook is very far in front in this space. If you want to learn about how interesting virtual reality and augmented reality are about to get, look up Facebook Reality Labs. It's just about 2 miles from my house here. And what Facebook is doing is they are acquiring the top talent in extended reality, virtual reality, and augmented reality. Some of the best engineers in the world are working on their projects so that the Facebook experience becomes completely immersive in a virtual reality experience. So look up Facebook Reality Labs and start reading the white papers and looking at the videos. It will blow your mind. What they're contemplating is an immersive workspace initially, okay? And eventually they become immersive play spaces. But an immersive workspace where when you're wearing your headset, you see multiple displays as large as you want them hovering in front of you. You can reach out and grab them and move them around and resize them. Logitech makes a wireless keyboard right now that literally types into the virtual space. You can type onto the virtual displays. There are also virtual keyboards where you can just type in the air. So Facebook is doing some very interesting things we're going to see unleashed this year and next year. And you saw it coming. Facebook will be slipping advertising into the virtual reality experience. Here's a picture of one. You can be playing a VR game and poof, here comes an advertisement. I don't know how invasive this is going to be, but that's one of the reasons that Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, paid over $2 billion to acquire Oculus, because he could see the future of social interaction being in virtual spaces, and of course he's going to fill it with advertising. Extended reality is another word, another way to say it is spatial computing, using the space around you. So XR, extended reality, includes virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality. It's an umbrella term that includes them all. And spatial computing is when you can walk around and move around inside the computing experience. The spatial web is the single most significant development in the history of technology, and it's just 2 years away. Most of us know that these things are on the periphery, virtual reality, augmented reality, but we don't realize how transformative this technology is going to be to our daily lives, our working lives. It will be an immersive computing experience that's always around you. It works because of the ingredients that we've been talking about for years, and we have them now. The Internet of Things, 5G, and then soon 6G data technology, edge computing, where servers get closer and closer to the people, blockchain for security and privacy, augmented reality, of course, the AR cloud, which binds all of the AR devices together so that we can have common experiences, and artificial intelligence, which is how we navigate our way through the spatial computing space. We talk to it. All you need is some imagination and you will make a lot of money. This is a huge business opportunity emerging right now. Augmented reality is where it gets more interesting, because you can see real reality and virtual reality at the same time. This is a mock-up that you've seen probably a million times of the Apple augmented reality glasses. They may or may not look like this, but Apple is absolutely working on this, and we'll probably see something like this, I would guess, within the next 3 years. Within the next 1 to 2 years, we're going to see an Apple virtual reality headset that actually becomes mixed reality because it will have cameras on it, and the cameras will blend real reality with virtual reality. So that's their first step. And then it becomes a transparent eyeglasses type effect. Snap is showing their own version called Spectacles, the Spectacles by Snap, and they're starting to look a little more interesting. They look like big, interesting sunglasses. The field of view is not quite as wide as we would like it to be, but they're getting there. And these are very complex devices. So this is an exploded view of the Snap AR glasses. They have cameras, sensors, little touch panel controllers on the temples, on the sides. They have immersive audio built in that connect to your earbuds. And they're already shipping these things. Microsoft, of course, has their Hololens 2, which is a full computing device that you wear on your head. The whole computer is on your head. And this is very advanced in the industrial sectors where people are in manufacturing. Lockheed Martin is making the new Orion space capsule this way, and they're getting like 95% accuracy in their assembly, which used to be much, much lower than that. This is an application for Microsoft HoloLens called Tactile, where you see an overlay of a hardware technology that you might be working on. Surgeons are using HoloLens right now because they can project the scan of the body onto a real person and go in and perform surgery with vastly more accuracy than they had before. They're blending the virtual world and the real world. Artists are starting to use the technology to collaborate around as if you could work around the same hologram. There's an application called Spatial, which is an application for various headsets. And this is where it gets interesting for us, for CEDIA, because with Spatial and other applications like it, you can wear your glasses and you can have a meeting, and instead of it being a traditional video conference where you're looking at a camera and there's a display or two at the front of the room and a microphone on the table, you are walking around the room. And everybody who participates virtually in that room can see each other. And you can write little post-it notes, virtual post-it notes, and kind of let them hang in the air. And you can have virtual whiteboards, and you can bring in product prototypes and collaborate around them. What's interesting is these rooms have persistence. So when you come back to the room next week, all those little post-it notes are still hanging there. It's as if it was a real room in suspended animation. I just love the notion of collaboration spaces, remote collaboration, working from home in this kind of rich environment. There's another augmented reality headset maker called Nrel. They're from Beijing, China. Very interesting company. They're already shipping glasses. They look pretty cool. You can see there's a wire coming out. They are tethered via USB-C to a cell phone, which does some of the computing. So some of the computing is in the glasses. Some of the computing is in the cell phone. So watch for Nrel. They're very inexpensive. You can get into these things for about $1,500. This is an image of an Nrel concept where, very similar to Facebook, they're contemplating virtual computing spaces where the displays float out in front of you. And this is already happening. So I think that we're going to see applications for augmented reality very, very quickly, within the next year or two, very practical applications, not just games, not just silliness, but real working applications. This is an interesting company that I've learned about many years ago, like 5 years ago. It's called Innovega, and they have an e-macula technology. So what they have is a contact lens that you stick on your eyeball and what looks like sunglasses that hover in front, and they can generate a very convincing three-dimensional holographic augmented reality view. So I think that the resolution will go up quite a bit when you have the contact lens on your eyeball. There's another company doing something similar called Mojo that has a very large contact lens that you stick on your eye, which generates the image. So this is augmented reality with contact lenses. They're going to look a little bit weird. You're going to look like a zombie with this thing on your eye because people can tell there's this electronic thing on your eye, but it can project an image directly onto your retina. So that's how these things work. We'll be able to have a more seamless augmented reality experience even without the big glasses on our face. These are medical applications right now for people who are visually impaired. They won't really be available for general consumer use, oh gosh, probably for another 3 to 5 years, I would guess. There's an adjunct to augmented reality, which I like to call audio augmented reality. How do you create the immersive audio experience that you can walk around with? Well, that can happen, of course, with headphones. Apple has spatial audio, immersive audio, built into their little earbuds now. So you can take these things and they become immersive audio listening devices. What's interesting is they have accelerometers and gyroscopes, and they can sense your head position and where you are in the augmented reality space. So as you turn your head, the sound field remains as it should, as if you were in a real sound field. They can emulate a Dolby Atmos surround sound system with the height channel on your iPhone. So when you're watching the movie and you turn your head, it's as if the left, center, and right speakers stay in the front where they should, even though you're moving your head. It's a very, very magical experience. Facebook, of course, with their reality labs, is also working on audio augmented reality with HRTF, which means head-related transfer function, head-related transfer function. And so what they're doing is they're creating earbuds that work with their augmented reality glasses that allow you to enhance the real audio environment. These are like super hearing aids where you can pinpoint the sound from the person speaking in front of you in a very noisy restaurant or bar, and it filters every other noise out and you only hear the person speaking in front of you. So you'll be able to steer the audio and capture it the way you want. So these are in development, and once again, we'll probably see these hit the market in about 3 to 5 years. Mixed reality, MR, is when the body comes into play. So you can, these are tricks that are used in gaming in particular, but you can get into a contraption, some kind of a physical structure, like a cage, or in this case, it looks like an exoskeleton, and start walking and running and moving inside the virtual reality environment. So this is immersion for the body as well. there's a company that makes called the Tesla suit. Tesla, not the same company as the car, that makes a full body haptic feedback suit. So this is a suit that has actuators on it, little levers that move. So that if you're playing a game, for example, in virtual reality and somebody hits you like that, well, you can feel the hit on your chest. It also has a cooling and heating system. So if you're in a game where you're sort of walking into a volcano, your suit starts to heat up. So the sense of immersion is going beyond visual, beyond hearing, into full body sensation. Now, you can follow the logic here, and you can see where this is going. From a traditional home theater experience with a flat 2-channel screen in front of you, immersive sound, it becomes a head-worn display with earphones. It can become contact lenses that you put on your eye. You're getting closer and closer and more intimate with the body. And eventually, we're going to go inside the body and start communicating directly with the brain. And that's what BCI is, brain-computer interfaces. So once you go inside the brain, well, you don't need to type on a keyboard anymore. You don't even have to speak to an Alexa anymore. What if you could type directly from your brain? And this, I pulled this image from a Facebook keynote. Facebook bought CTRL, Control Labs, for BCI brain control. This is a device that you wear on your arm, and it detects the electrical signals going through the muscles in your arm. And it can sense what your fingers are doing. And so when you're wearing this thing, your virtual hand can be fully manipulated in virtual space. It's detecting the electrical signals in your arm. And so you can reach out with your real hand and pick up and move virtual objects in a virtual reality or augmented reality space. And you can type on a virtual keyboard. And what's really interesting is how these devices can help the physically challenged people. The person in the bottom right-hand picture has no fingers. However, with the Control Labs armband, it can sense the electrical signals in his muscles as if he had fingers, and now he can reach out and start grabbing things and typing and doing things in a virtual reality or augmented reality space. I think that is just remarkable. I love this technology. You can see here that another term for this is neural interfaces, interfaces that connect directly to the nervous system and to the brain. Our friend Elon Musk, who eventually is going to send himself to Mars, I would imagine, has invested over $150 million into a brain-computer interface company called Neuralink. They're headquartered in San Francisco, and he's he's cornering the market with neural researchers at the highest levels. And his mission is to have a high-resolution brain-computer interface, much higher resolution than what they can do right now. They put little sensors, EEG sensors, electroencephalogram, EEG sensors on top of the head, but the resolution isn't very good. The idea now is to drill a little hole in your skull and squirt a network of sensors directly on top of your brain. That's called neural lace, and they're already experimenting with neural lace. It goes into your head with a contraption, a machine that it's like a sewing machine. It goes into your skull and goes, and it squirts the neural lace on top of your brain. Once that's in place, and then you have an interface that'll be a plug on the side of your skull, it'll be very similar to the cochlear implant hearing aids that some people have, where it's magnetically attached to their skull and then it communicates through the skull. So that's how it will communicate through the skull to a wearable device. And things are getting a little crazy when you start thinking about communicating directly with people's brains. There are all kinds of issues concerning security, privacy, brain control, persuasion, behavior modification. We're getting into a very scary time. One of my heroes is a man named Jaron Lanier, J-A-R-O-N, Lanier, L-A-N-I-E-R, and he writes prolifically on these topics. He calls Facebook and Amazon and Google behavior modification empires. That's really what they are. They're modifying our behavior in order to sell us more stuff, to amplify the consumer economy, and in some cases to persuade us to think a certain way. And we've already seen this happening with the divisiveness that Facebook has caused in world political systems. So what I'm suggesting here is maybe it's time for us to slow down a little bit and think about our humanity. How can we improve our humanity? Another one of my heroes is Doug Engelbart from the Stanford Research Institute. It was just about 3 miles from where I live. And back in the 1960s, Doug Engelbart was working on very early computer technologies that were designed to augment or improve or enhance the human experience. Instead of artificial intelligence, he called it intelligence augmentation. How do we help human beings become more productive? And he makes a couple of interesting statements. Whoops. The complexity of the problems facing mankind is growing faster than our ability to solve them. So what he was saying is we've got to create computer systems and ways to interact with data so that we can make better decisions as human beings. Let's enhance the human being thinking process. And then he said this in the bottom right corner: the better we get at getting better, the faster we will get better. So it's an accelerating process where humans and technology merge and accelerate and improve capacity, but you cannot leave the human being behind. Another one of my heroes is Dieter Rams, famous for his design work with companies like Braun. And he said, you cannot understand good design if you do not understand people. The key here is we all need to be anthropologists. We all need to learn about our customers in deeper, more intimate ways than we're used to. Practice design thinking. Practice empathy for your customers. Learn how they feel. Put yourself in their place. Understand how the homes that you design for them and the electronic systems that you design for them can enhance their lives, their particular lives. Maybe they're a work from home family. Maybe they're learn from home family. So the home becomes a school. The home becomes a workplace. The home becomes a gym. The home becomes a place of worship. There are a lot of different use cases that we've had because of COVID that we haven't seen before. And I think the key to getting down to the core of what people need with technology is simplicity. Albert Einstein said, out of clutter, find simplicity. You know, that's one of the hardest things to do. When you are designing a system, it is extremely important for you to simplify the system so that it's down to the smallest possible footprint, the simplest possible physical expression, the fewest number of button presses. People will pay more for simplicity. Design is becoming invisible. So we've entered the age of invisible design, where the technology does not call attention to itself. Using artificial intelligence and some other tricks, it just gets the job done. You know, I love what Samsung is doing with their frame TVs and their ambient mode, where the TV can actually play a picture of what's of the wall, so it looks like it's invisible. And I think that the displays, remember, when I talked about earlier, these immersive displays throughout a room or throughout a home can also be quiet ambient displays showing peaceful nature, clouds, rainforests, aquariums, and things like that. There are ways to slow down, to use slow technology to help us remember our humanity. We do that with design. Design is always about the intended user. It's gaining empathy for the intended user. One of my heroes, another one of my heroes, I have lots of heroes, Dieter Rams, put out the 10 principles of design. And just think about this when you're working with your customers and designing systems. Good design is innovative. You have to stay on top of new technologies. It makes a product useful. It's aesthetic. In other words, it's beautiful. It's fine to the touch. It makes a product understandable. It's unobtrusive. It's honest. It's thorough down to the last detail. Design is environmentally friendly. It's crucially important now more than ever. It's long-lasting, so we don't have to throw it away every year. And this is my favorite. Good design is as little design as possible. We want the light touch. And that brings me to another one of the R's, real reality. How can we improve real reality? The International Well Building Institute has created a well scorecard. And this is a scorecard that architects and builders can start to measure their success with on a wellness scale. And they're looking at air quality, indoor air quality, water quality, nourishment, quality of light, fitness, comfort, and mind. How does the environment support a healthy mind? And I truly think that wellness is the new luxury. People will pay for a healthy home, for their family, for their work. And this is a huge opportunity for CEDIA. Biophilia is a word that means a desire for biology, a desire for nature, to blend with nature, to have technology and nature coexist. And there are companies like Delos, this is another great CEDIA friend, who has a package of technologies they call Darwin. And Darwin is a group of technologies that help you restore your body's natural rhythms. And you do that by modulating the intensity and color of light through the day in the house, by improving the indoor air quality, by improving the quality of your sleep. And so there are many different technologies that are quietly implemented in the home to get to this sense of biophilia. This is an image of a concept, and it really appeals to me. I'm actually seeing this happen here in Palo Alto in the Bay Area. There is a drive to create work, living, learning, health environments where people don't have to use cars. I know that's probably unimaginable in a place like Mexico City, but it will happen. This is a concept by a Danish company that has envisioned an idyllic city, it's a neighborhood, built almost entirely from wood. So we're seeing 3- and 4-story wood structures. Wood, by the way, is sustainable, that are close to natural environments. You can see a pathway walking through a park here with a pond and fruit trees and so on, where everything that you need to get through the day is within a 15-minute walk. Now, I live in downtown Palo Alto. This is a town of 65,000 people. Stanford University is 1 mile away from me, and I can live my life this way. I can go for an entire week without getting into my car because everything I need is within walking distance. So I think that this is the future of the home. And I think that we will experience an abundant future where technology enhances the human condition. And we, the CEDIA channel, with products like Control4, can start to integrate a more wholesome, healthier life. And there you go. I am ready for questions and maybe a conversation with Albert. What do you think?
Yes, I'd be happy to. And I would also like to invite Michelle Coleman. I don't know if you know her. She's the sales manager for Control4 in Latin America. So if you guys can help me activate Michelle's microphone, or I don't know. There. Oh no, that's Patty. Hey, Patty. So what a great talk, dear Rich. Here's Michelle. Hi, Michelita. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Michelle.
Hello. Nice to meet you, Richard. Hi, Patty. Great to see you.
Great.
Hi,
So,
Albert. Good to see you too.
hi.
I'm sorry I missed you this morning.
I know I miss you. I miss you all the time, Michelita. So I was thinking, what a great talk, Richard, to sort of get us to think out of this box that we live in. We as technologists, I imagine that most of integrators love technology. This is why they decide to work in this space. And this presentation kind of opens our eyes to see what's beyond the usual things that we do. And most importantly is how they will be able to participate in all these technology markets. Because as you said, this will all evolve into the house, into the environments that we live and we create for our clients. So what I first thought is, what type of network will we need to have in order to have all these devices communicating, not only inside the house, but between the house and our bodies and all these devices that will become available? So think about the huge opportunities for us here. And not only that, we are the technologists that our customers depend on. So we need to expand our horizons and become the people that our clients will rely on for technology, any type of technology. What do you think, my dear Rich?
Well, you're absolutely right. You know, some people are scared of what's happening here. They're scared of technology that they think will replace them. And you know that that's a very different story. We become essential for implementing this technology. People will become distraught with all of the choices. And so remember I said, keep it simple. We are masters of complexity. What we do in CEDIA is extremely hard. We're really smart. We have knowledge of thousands of different products. We know how to integrate them so they work as one whole. That's hard to do. We become essential as more and more technology floods in. You mentioned the networks. Our responsibility is to establish a network infrastructure that can work almost at a molecular scale. So we're talking Wi-Fi 6 and soon Wi-Fi 7, 5G cellular data services that flow through the home. I call it a data wind. It flows through the home. And then 6G technologies that are so agile, using artificial intelligence built into the antennas, that 6G technology will be so agile that it knows when you're connected to Wi-Fi 6 or Wi-Fi 7. It knows when you're connected to 5G. It knows when you're connected to 6G. And it applies the correct radios and the correct data services for the application, whether it's low latency eyeglasses or high latency, low bandwidth sensors on high-rise buildings. So I think that we need to get used, we need to become masters of the network infrastructure in the home, and then how to blend with the larger data infrastructure at the cellular level. Netgear already has a device that works with both Wi-Fi 6 and 5G. Same device, seamless. You can start computing in your house with Wi-Fi 6, move into your car, and it instantly connects you to 5G cellular without any interruption. So that's the kind of infrastructure we need to be masters of.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think, my dear Michelle?
I completely agree. And I also think it's important for companies like Control4, Snap AV or Snap One now, that as we're known, fresh off the presses today, to incorporate very strict security within our products, because I think that's the most complicated thing is with these technologies, people become fearful of their privacy getting out. And in today, and we were already seeing it with our emails being phished, our accounts, our Facebook and other accounts being hacked. So we really need the strong networks and infrastructure in place to make sure that the customer's privacy remains secure in their own home.
Yep, I agree. So for all the dealers, open your eyes, try to get out a little bit from what you're used to, and try to understand that this thing is moving. And as Rich said, it's moving pretty fast. So it's not going to take long for technology to really explode inside the homes and the bodies. And we need to be prepared for that. And of course, CEDIA will help us bring relevant content and, of course, trainings. And Snap One will help us bring products that can help us make this thing happen.
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment. I didn't know about Snap One, so that just happened today.
Yes.
That's a great name. That's a bigger name than Snap AV. I really like that concept. Yeah, with Snap One, what you have is a distribution network with superb customer service that blends various manufacturers together into a cohesive ecosystem. And that's becoming more and more important for us. When you're designing systems in a CEDIA world, the temptation is to go after the next bright, shiny object and start grabbing the latest and greatest technology. But it's incumbent on us as the integrators to make sure that it works with our recipe. So when, as a dealer, you have to make decisions. You're going to say, no, I'm not going to sell that product. Yes, I'm going to sell this product because it works well in my ecosystem. It's a recipe I can follow to deliver success. And so when you think about a company like Control4, which is now part of the Snap One ecosystem, Control4 does that. They are the integrators of technology. If it comes from Control4, you know it's going to work with Control4. So don't get overly ambitious and start, bolting together weird things and experimenting in your customers' homes. That is a recipe for failure. You need to limit your choices so that you can deliver a reliable secure, safe system. That's hard to do. That's what CEDIA does. That's the hard job that we do. We take the time to learn the products. We learn everything about the products. We bring them into our labs. We bring them into our homes, hands-on. We know everything about them. We can answer any question that a customer asks us because we're already experts. Like I said, what we do is hard. It takes time. You have to take yourself very seriously.
This was not a paid message. Yes.
I was one of the first Control4 dealers. In fact, I was in the first 40 inaugural class of Control4.
Wow. What was that, 2004?
Again?
2004?
It was the first one. So if that was 2004, yeah, they flew us all up to Utah.
Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
Yeah, we became distributors in 2003 when nothing worked. Yeah, that was a long time ago. And yes, I totally agree with what you're saying. And for the people that don't know, Richard is an integrator. So he's just like you guys. And he's been very successful because he really understands what he does. And it's a very, very important part. We need to understand everything that we're putting into our clients' homes. And as he said, not take risks when playing with people's homes. So yeah, thank you very much, dear Richard, for your kind comments.
Well, I'll just say thank you. It's a pleasure to be with my friends in Mexico. I so wish I could come and see you in person, and I hope to do that soon. And by now, we would be seeing trays of tequila passed around the classroom. It's a little early in the morning for me right now, but I'll have my tequila tonight.
Well, it's 6 o'clock somewhere, right?
Somewhere, yes.
Well, we'll do next year, I promise. And we'll take you guys to the pyramids, or we'll take you someplace fun in Mexico. We always like having you guys join us, people from CEDIA, people from Control4 and Snap One, and all the brands that they represent. Patty, of course, she says she's Mexican, but she lives in California, so I'm not that sure now. And she's been sending me...
My heart is in Mexico.
That's not enough, Patty. That's not enough, Patty.
Your heart is everything.
Yeah, she's been texting me because she wants every one of you that's listening to send her an email. And in return for that email, she will send you a $99 white paper for free. So send her an email. She will then send you a lot of spam, I promise, but it'll be worth it. And if you guys are not part of CEDIA yet, you should definitely do that, because if you're not, then you're missing talks like this one with Richard and with very interesting people that know a lot about technology and what we do and can really help you grow your businesses, grow yourselves, and become better. So join CEDIA if you haven't. Join Snap One and Control4 if you haven't. And if you haven't, I will remove you from this webinar right now. But Michelle is laughing. She likes it. No, we appreciate everyone joining. We appreciate the time that you take to listen to us, and we also appreciate the kind person that is doing the el doblaje. How do you say this in English? The translation. So I was listening to the translation in English, but people say that the translation was very, very good. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, I hope we can invite Richard next year, because I really like this presentation, Patty. His input and his vision on technology is amazing.
I don't know, Richard, it's very, very busy, Albert, but, we will put you on the agenda depending. I have to take care of Richard's agenda, and he's busy all the time, all over the world. But Richard, what do you think? We will just pencil him?
I can be persuaded, yes.
Okay, some tequila
especially
then.
especially
I've
in
been to-
Mexico.
I've been to
Love
Mexico so many times, and I've always had phenomenal experiences, amazing food, amazing drink, beautiful people, really interesting engagement in the classes. It's just, I don't know, it's an astonishing group of CEDIA members and integrators that
Yeah.
I really appreciate. I'll go to Mexico anytime
You
I
are
can.
most welcome. And you know, with the pandemic, we had to do this year's seminar and last year's seminar virtually. And what has happened is not only people from Mexico have been joining, but we have people from all over Latin America. We have people from Peru, from Chile, from Colombia, from Argentina, and all these people will be invited to join next year to Mexico City if they can make the trip. So we're trying to make a larger community, a Spanish-speaking community of integrators, and we've been having great response. So obviously with the help of CEDIA and Control4. But yes, join us. There will be a lot of tequila, I promise.
What is different is when we attend to give an educational class at your events, it's just people don't leave, you know, they just stay and they like to get certified, they like to learn. And what you bring products, but we bring education, and it's a big combination. If we have the education, then they can understand the products and be on the products, and CEDIA how offer that all the time. So it's really a good combination. So
well, they don't leave because we give free stuff. That's why they stay here.
Well, we have 97, 99, 100 attendees, and they didn't leave. They stay. They want to listen. So I really appreciate if all of you send me an email.
For the people that couldn't join from the beginning, we will upload this talk to our YouTube channel. The channel is Control4 en Español. Control4 en Español. Look for it in the YouTube. Subscribe, and you can watch this video and all the seminar and previous videos that we've done. We do, I don't know if you know that, but we do a weekly webinar, Patty, in Spanish, where we talk mostly about Control4, but we talk about many things. And people from all over join. It's very fun. Look for them at our YouTube channel. And sometimes we post there the links for the live webinars that we do every Monday. So everyone is welcome to join as well.
Yeah. Tenemos que compartir el conocimiento y tenemos que compartir. Michelle, ahora que estás en Latinoamérica, ¿qué te parece? ¿No es increíble estar con todas estas personas de Latinoamérica? Michelle, what do you think about all this now that you share everything in Latin America? Isn't it amazing to be with all of them sharing your knowledge?
It is great, and I appreciate that everything that Albert does to bring our brands to our integrators, and it's pretty incredible. And I love, like Richard, my experience in working with integrators and distributors in Mexico and going to Mexico is just fantastic. I have always had wonderful experiences, and it's like a second home. So I look forward to getting back. Being able to work with integrators and distributors in Latin America has been just an enormous pleasure for me. I do share the territory though, so I'm not responsible for all of Latin America, just our countries where we have distribution. Mexico being one of them, Colombia, Brazil, and Chile. My colleague Herbert.
And Argentina now, Michelle.
Pardon?
Argentina now.
Yes, we do have a distributor in Argentina now. My colleague Herbert is handling that territory still. But we are a great team. And so if any of you integrators that are on this call are not in Mexico, please feel free to reach out to us, and Albert and we'll get you in touch with the right individual to help you out and get you set up.
Be glad to.
Okay. Tenemos, si alguien más tiene alguna pregunta, sé que algunos de ustedes levantaron la mano durante la sesión. Gonzalo, Adán, Adrián, si tienen alguna pregunta, nos las pueden mandar y con gusto Richard las puede contestar. Y si no, las contestaremos por email. A todos que por cualquier motivo no pudimos contestarles en esta sesión, la contestaremos por email, Albert o myself, o Richard, o Michelle. Albert, ¿qué opinas?
I think I like you very much. I think I like Richard very much. And I think I love Michelle.
Okay.
And I love CEDIA the most. CEDIA,
Of course.
great partner, Control4, Snap One, and all of you people that are connected, still listening to nothing, because we've been saying nothing for the past 10 minutes. We love you guys. I really appreciate that you connect with us and that you participate with us.
I'd like to add one more thing. I see here there's a question from Jorge Gutierrez, which is, what are CEDIA and Control4 doing to promote standards to ensure interconnectivity and interoperability? That is a really good question. And I'll tell you that CEDIA has a standards department led by Walt Zerbe, who is an amazing individual. And Walt is chairing many standards and recommended practice committees right now. The one I mentioned, RP22, Recommended Practice 22 for Immersive Audio, is just one of them. We also have David Meyer, who chaired the committee that published basically the world reference on HDMI connectivity. So that's a CEDIA white paper I definitely recommend. I know that Control4 is contributing because Sean from Control4 sits on the RP22 committee, and he's also on a new committee that is establishing a standard for how electronics specifications are stated. So we're very happy to have Control4's input as a member on our standards committees. So we're working on it, and you're going to see more and more coming. There are probably, I think there are 4 or 5 committees in process right now. We're just launching RP23, chaired by Joel Silver, on a new standard in video. So watch for that one coming up too.
Yeah. Thank you, Richard. That'd be fantastic. And I know how hard everybody worked on it. I understand. So this would be a great team to do it. Okay, Albert, you want to take a picture? That's what you're doing?
Let's do a virtual selfie. Let's do a virtual selfie.
Okay. Hola.
You stole the camera, Patty.
Oh.
Nice one.
I say hola. Everybody needs to say hola. Okay.
Hola.
Hola. Karen from CEDIA. Hola, Karen.
Yes, hello. Thank you, everyone.
You have to show because we want to take a picture. Just show up.
Thank you
Marley,
for
show up.
organizing this.
The interpreter, come on, show up. No, wait. Marlene, show up, the interpreter, so we can see you. No, just one. Okay.
That's good. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap it up. We have the theater design webinar coming up next with the kind people from JBL and JBL Synthesis. Kevin Kent is joining us, and he's a mastermind. So please be sure to join us for that. You have the links, and if you don't, let me see if I can share it here. Can I share a document here somehow?
Put it on the questions and answer or on the chat.
Okay, I'm trying to attach here. Yeah, it's the invitation for the whole seminar event, which is the whole week you just click on the links and you can join the webinars. So next webinar is, as I told you, JBL Synthesis with Chris Robinson and Kevin Kent from JBL Synthesis. It's a design webinar. I'm sure Richard knows everything about that, but if you want to join Richard, you're welcome to join us as well. And of course, Patty and Michelita.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, this thing is loading, so give me 1 second until it loads before we close this thing and everything disappears. Give me one second. So, Michelita, we are now called Snap One.
Snap One is our new company name, announced at 11 a.m. Eastern today. And it is, well, John Heyman, when we had announced the merger with Snap AV and Control4, John Heyman, our CEO, had indicated at that time that we would have a new name coming. And because he felt that Snap AV was too limiting because we do more than AV. And after, well, it's been 2 years in the making now with this new name, and they have decided on Snap One because our aspiration is to be one company with the best solutions, products, services, and platforms, one place with the broadest portfolio of the best-in-class products, one shopping experience that can be done online, in store, distribution, etc. One vendor that makes everything easy for integrators, and one partner that integrators can depend on. So go check out our new website, snapone.com, and there's a couple of cool videos, brand new logo, and marketing. And if you want to update your websites, be sure to check out the new branding guidelines, which Albert, I'll make sure that you get so that you can make it available to all of your dealer partners as well.
Good. This also wasn't a paid comment. Thank you, Michelita.
You're
You
welcome.
did it very good. Okay, so I have
Okay.
uploaded the invitation. You guys can download it and join us to the next webinars. And I've also posted the link to the webinar that is going on at 11:30. So in 30 minutes. No, at 11, I'm sorry. It says 11:30. ¿Es 11 o es 11:30? A las 11. Okay, it's at 11. I don't know why the invitation says 11:30. It's at 11. Okay, so here you go, guys. Join us there. Once again, thank you very much, dear Richard. You've been amazing. Patty and the whole team at CEDIA, and Michelle for joining us.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for having me. Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Richard.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you guys soon.
Bye.